Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
What do you mean you didn't feel safe?
See what I got to work with, Your Honor?
I mean, Frank, we trained all day, every day. And
I thought the trainings were only an hour.
right.
You just said all day, every day.
5 days a week, Your Honor, is pretty...
Okay, so you're a little dramatic.
In my courtroom, it's about equity and fairness.
Stop. Is that true? I don't want you to understand. I want you to overstand.
Yes, sir.
That's why they pay me the big bucks.
Justice should be more than just some foreign concept. I actually want you to learn something.
That's not gonna happen. Not up in here, not today. And boom goes the dynamite.
Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Blaine Sterling claims the trainer he hired to prepare for a triathlon pushed too hard and left him with a pulled hamstring and medical bills.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
Mr. Sterling is suing Frank Grover in the amount of $2,714.
All parties have been sworn, Your Honor.
Third, get over there, Thomas. Mr. Sterling, why are you entitled to this $2,714?
I was training for a triathlon. It was about...
First time?
First time, correct.
Why?
There was a charity event that one of my coworkers brought up that he ran last year, and I wanted to set a good example. I run a commercial real estate brokerage, and I wanted to set a good example for the community, for my fellow brokers and agents. It's one of the shorter triathlons, but it's still pretty demanding.
You said, I'm going to test myself and challenge my physical limitations here, right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
But you were smart. You said, okay, I'm not necessarily going to just do this on my own. I'm going to hire someone.
Right.
And that's where Mr. Grover comes in. Yes, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And why did you pick Mr. Grover?
He was highly rated on Yelp, the internet. All of his ratings really went through the roof.
What were some of the comments that convinced you this may be the person for me?
He wasn't just like a professional trainer. He did all realms, walks of life. So beginners, intermediates, advanced, and of course, I consider myself intermediate.
Oh, really?
do some pretty physical activity. I do hike.
From here, it looks like you're in pretty good shape.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So it wasn't like you were starting from scratch.
No, not at all. But
Did you think so, that he was in pretty good shape?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Like he said, he only does like hiking and like swimming, but that's a whole different type of training.
Well, swimming, from what I understand, is one of the best things you can do in terms of fitness and all-around workout, right?
It's a good workout, but for the event you're going to...
You're not really feeling the swimmers. You want to have the more the throwing the weights and flipping tires and going out there and...
Well, yes, Your Honor. This is like the triathlon he's going for. It's one of the hard. It's not the hardest, but it's still not a walk in the park.
Okay.
So there's specific training for that type of event that you need to go through.
And tell me about your background training and expertise.
Absolutely, Your Honor. So I've been training people for over 20 years now. I've been training professional athletes, amateur athletes, people from all walks of life.
But I take it that you are trying to instill a certain philosophy with the people that you work with.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
And for you, what does that philosophy entail?
Well, I always have a conversation with my clients. Our first conversation is, look, you have a goal, let's meet that goal. But I expect this from you, you can expect this of me. And if we hold our end of the bargain, we're going to meet our goal.
Is that what happened?
I mean, yes, Your Honor, he did set... Initially, yes. He did set a very high standard, and he was with me every walk of the way. But as we progressed into our training regimen, it became very apparent he was still in his ex-military days.
Oh, you didn't mention anything about the military.
Yes, Your Honor, I was in the Army.
And so you were incorporating the athleticism, but also the discipline that the military affords many people who are lacking in discipline.
Yes, Your Honor.
Was Mr. Sterling lacking in discipline?
100%.
100%?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, what was the struggle that you were having with him?
Accountability, Your Honor. Like I talk about stretching, like the first couple of lessons that I teach for my clients, I sit down with them and I walk them through stretching, which needs to be at least 30 to 45 minutes. We work hard.
Well, how long is the entirety of the sessions that you have with them?
It's an hour of actual work. And at first it's like 2 hours until we graduate to the point where I know you know the stretch and you know the preparation.
Let me make sure I'm understanding correctly. Your time frame is an hour with them?
Yes, Your Honor.
And 30 to 45 minutes of that hour is stretching and warming up?
Yes, Your Honor.
That seems disproportionately a lot.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Am I preaching to the choir here?
Yes, absolutely.
For professional athletes, like if you watch football players, they spend about 1 to 2 hours getting warmed up for their sport. So he's not doing, he's not doing something simple. His goal was to do a triathlon, which is about 16 miles. So you definitely want to spend some time, about like 30 seconds to a minute to each stretch, so you don't just start off and pull a muscle or anything.
And see,
like
I'm not even looking at Mr. Sterling, but I can hear him huffing and puffing under his breath. So I take it he was not amenable to that period of time for stretching and the warming up.
Coming up on America's Court.
I'm listening to you, and what you're saying is not making sense to me, because you're like, oh my God, we were training all day.
It felt like
How
it, Your
long
Honor.
was it? An hour.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is America's Court with Judge Ross, Emmy-nominated for Outstanding Legal Courtroom Program. America's Court is back with the case of Blaine Sterling, who is suing Frank Grover for personal injury.
How often were you interacting with Mr. Grover?
5 days a week, Your Honor.
And how many weeks are we talking?
About 6 weeks was the training regiment.
When you say you were with him that frequently, what was he doing and what were you doing in his presence?
I mean, I was just trying to survive, to be totally honest. This
But
man,
I thought you were just stretching and warming up.
Yeah, he would absolutely berate me and tell me my form was wrong and really treat me like a private in the military going through boot camp. I didn't feel encouraged, I didn't feel safe, and he kept pushing me way beyond my limits.
What do you mean you didn't feel safe?
Safe?
See what I got to work with, Your Honor?
I mean, Frank, we trained all day, every day, and I tried to really stay and keep up with you, and all I got in return was just negative comments.
I thought the trainings were only an hour.
Right, but all he said to me
You
was
just said all day, every day. All day is not
5
an
days
hour.
a week, Your Honor, is pretty.
Okay, so you're a little dramatic.
I mean,
And I'm saying that because I'm listening to you, and what you're saying is not making sense to me, because you're like, oh my God, we were training all day.
it felt like
And you're
all day.
training for a triathlon.
Your Honor, it was really not the type of training that I have ever been experienced, and it was just terrible.
Were you doing the stretching and the warming up as he instructed?
No, because I didn't have any guidance, Your Honor. I had guidance.
He's telling
for
you,
the
I
first-
want you to stretch and warm up. And what else was he supposed to do or say to you?
show me what part of the body we were working out that so I could focus my stretching on that part of the
That's
body.
fair. You weren't doing that?
Your Honor, I have an app that actually guides people. One of the things it does, it allows them to.
Of course,
The app.
Of course you have an app.
Yeah, there's an app that they can actually record all their workouts, all the stuff that they're doing, all their progress, and it also has
But
a
you
list.
were with him during that hour period.
Well, we have an understanding that if I say we're training at 6, you are stretched and warmed up by the time I get there and we start going.
At 6?
Yes, sir.
So your expectation is from 5 to 6, the app will follow you because I'm able to track your progress.
Well, no, the app is a guideline for the client. So the client on their own does this. So for the first week or so,
Yes.
I'm actually walking through the stretches with my clients to make sure they understand what is
Is
expected.
that true? Did he walk through the first week with you?
First 2 days, Your Honor.
Oh, it was 2 days.
Yes.
Okay. All right. You say a week, you say 2 days.
Yes, sir.
Copy.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Next.
And once I saw that he understood the program, what was expected of him,
Did you understand what was expected of you and the program?
Barely.
So that's a no. All right.
I saw him coming in and he was actually warming up on his own. Once I see that my client knows what to do, I step back because ultimately, if I'm sitting there stretching with them the entire time, they're spending money from my time. But if they're doing that part, I want to help my clients win. I want to help them
So
save
your
money.
feeling is, if I'm hearing correctly, that the time you're spending is under the impression that they've already done what you instructed them to do before you even get there.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because if you have to then sit there while they're also stretching, you're going to charge more.
Exactly, Your Honor.
Did he convey that?
No, he didn't. And I would have been happy to pay more if that was going to be part of the regimen of getting guided.
Why would he turn down money?
That's a great question. It was
No,
never.
I'm saying to you, that doesn't make sense what you just said. If he's saying, I will spend an hour with you and this is what I charge as a fee, and you're saying, I'm willing to pay more if you stretch with me, why would he say no to that?
Because I thought the stretching was included in the package that I bought from him.
But you learned that that was not the case early on. You stayed with him for 6 weeks.
Stay with him for 5 weeks, Your Honor.
Okay, so 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So how many weeks does it take for you to realize that that's not included in the package? You had to have known, okay, this is the deal. This is what I'm getting.
Right.
Did you say to him, this is not what I bargained for 2 weeks in?
No, Your Honor, I did not.
Why not?
Because I was under a time crunch of getting ready for the triathlon.
That doesn't make sense to me. Because of who you are as a person, that you presented yourself to be. You're very successful at what you do. You're no shrinking violet, meaning that it's not like you wouldn't say, hey, man, this is what's going on. This is what I paid for. This is my expectation. These are the deliverables that I want from you. I'm not getting that. I don't know if I want to continue with this relationship. Instead, your actions reflect you wanted to continue with the relationship, so you felt as though you were getting some sort of benefit to your bargain.
I was improving physically in Frank's defense.
You saw improvement.
I did see improvement.
So what you were saying is consistent with what the Yelp people were saying about his services. The assignment that Mr. Grover had, if I'm understanding correctly, is get me in shape to prepare for this triathlon. So you go 6 weeks, you still haven't stopped, and then something happens at 6 weeks.
At the 5th week, Your Honor.
At the 5th week.
Correct.
My bad. What happened at the 5th week?
So we were scheduled to do our regular training program on a Monday.
Yes.
I had just come back from a wedding that I attended. It was a college friend.
Was part of your training discipline in terms of diet?
Correct, yes, Your Honor.
And intake?
Yes,
and
Your
maybe
Honor.
less alcohol?
Correct, Your Honor.
Because when you said wedding, the first thing I thought was, hey.
Exactly.
And you knew that being in that sort of training mindset, a wedding didn't necessarily complement that. But you want this guy to sort of kind of give you a little bit of slack.
He's also being deceptive to you, Your Honor.
Why do you say that?
Like, he's being minimalistic. He's not capitalizing on the fact that when he came back on that Monday, he was bragging about getting hammered drunk. And on that Monday when we were training, he's sitting there talking to me.
He's like, yeah. Oh my God, this is so hard.
We hadn't gotten there yet.
Could it have been that champagne that I was drinking and causing me to have a little bit of a struggle?
He was just bragging about oh yeah, I got hammered. Dude. It was so great. There's so many women. It was amazing.
Coming up on America's Court.
So there's no disputing the fact that you were injured as a result of the training, yes?
Yes, Your Honor.
What exactly was the nature of your injury?
It was a torn hamstring in my left leg.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross, Emmy nominated for Outstanding Legal Courtroom Program. America's Court is back with the case of Blaine Sterling, who is suing Frank Grover for personal injury.
Are there any lies being told right now?
I mean, he's exaggerating, Your Honor.
I asked you, were there any lies being told
Yes.
about the exaggeration of the women and the drinking and the party?
Yes,
and
of course.
Were there a lot of women at the wedding?
Of course, yes.
So he wasn't lying about that part.
But were they a distraction? Was I chasing after them like he was inciting me to?
I didn't hear him say anything about chasing anybody. I heard him say, oh, the women. And how many bridesmaids were there?
There was 10 groomsmen.
Exactly. How did I know it was a big number? Because I don't care about the number of women or what you said. What I care about is the witness being credible to me in court. So if he says something and you affirm what he says, it raises their credibility. Well, by them having a raised credibility, what happens to your credibility?
Apparently it goes down, Your Honor.
It goes down. Ergo, the scales of justice. I'm just trying to balance the scales. So there's no disputing the fact that you were injured as a result of the training, yes?
Yes, Your Honor.
What exactly was the nature of your injuries?
It was a torn hamstring in my left leg.
And you believe that torn hamstring came from what?
From overtraining. Complete negligence of me expressing fatigue and worn down body parts where he just kept saying weakness is a sign of pain leaving the body, some gung-ho.
Coming up on America's Court.
Why aren't you responsible, sir?
First, Your Honor, I asked him, why are you wearing that right now?
What are you wearing?
Yeah, he came in some spandex. I'm like, bro, what are you wearing?
This is America's Court with Judge Ross, Emmy nominated for Outstanding Legal Courtroom Program. America's Court is back with the case of Blaine Sterling, who is suing Frank Grover for personal injury.
Wait, say it again?
weakness is a sign of pain leaving the body.
Did you say that?
No, Your Honor. Once again, he doesn't pay attention to my training. It's pain is weakness leaving the body.
Something like that.
Every one of my clients understand that because I let them know.
Pain is weakness leaving the body.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that what he said?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything else, sir?
Again, it was the overstimulation and the drill sergeant techniques of him that really led me to the injury.
Do you have proof of the injury, sir?
Yes, I do have some evidence.
Let's take a look at that. Oh, just for giggles. Why not?
Just for giggles.
Just for giggles. I didn't see you walk into court. How's your hamstring?
This happened 6 months ago.
Oh, so you're good now.
Yeah.
But you missed the training. I mean, you missed the event.
Yes, missed the triathlon, had obviously the hospital bills at UC to pay. That was my copay.
Why are you suing him for the triathlon suit?
Because it was included in the triathlon. I bought it with the anticipation of participating in the triathlon, Your Honor.
Copy. I see that. Okay. Why aren't you responsible, sir?
First, Your Honor, I asked him, why are you wearing that right now? Like, this is your performance suit.
What are you wearing?
Yeah, he came in some spandex. Like, I'm like, bro, what are you wearing? Like, you've never trained in spandex. You've always trained in like running shorts or some actual shorts. But he came in here, like, I'm not even kidding. He came in looking like a ballerina. And I was like, dude, I don't know why you would wear that, but
Why
whatever.
you got to diss ballerinas?
Yeah, ballerinas are in shape. They're very physically fit.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, but they don't do triathlons like that.
They could.
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. This is America's Court with Judge Ross, Emmy nominated for Outstanding Legal Courtroom Program.
What was it that Mr. Grover said that you feel he was being dishonest with the court?
Just his awareness of his training regimen, Your Honor. It was very brutal. He pushed me well beyond my limits and kept citing with the phrase that I, of course, screwed up because, again, by the third week, I was barely listening to him because he wasn't
I'm
even
sorry,
there.
say that part again?
By the third week, I was barely listening to him.
One more time.
Third week, I was barely listening to him.
Got it. Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, that last statement, man, that was the death knell to your case. I'm going to find in favor of the defendant because, one, he's credible. Two, we have a situation where, to some extent, you assume the risk of training. I don't get the sense at all that you were intimidated to the point where you're going to ignore what your body's telling you because he's telling you to keep going. And if you did do that, that is on you, sir. Your matter's dismissed. That is the order. Case closed.
All rise.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
You can't pay for results unless you're going to actually be willing to do it.
Subpar trainer, subpar results.
Yeah, mama.
Step outside and sign some paperwork, gentlemen.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.